Nearly 100 feet below the surface of the Atlantic, a team of deep-sea divers swam slowly through the twisted metal of a sunken tugboat. Their objective was strictly body recovery. 3 full days had passed since the vessel capsized. At this depth, under freezing temperatures and crushing pressure, survival is a biological impossibility. As a diver pushed through the murky, flooded corridor of the engineer's office, the green beam of his flashlight caught something drifting in the debris. It was a pale human hand, bobbing near the ceiling. Assuming he had located another casualty of the wreck, the diver reached out to secure the body. Then, the hand closed its fingers and squeezed his firmly. A 29-year-old ship's cook named Harrison Okene was alive. He had endured 60 hours trapped in a metal tomb, wearing nothing but his boxer shorts, with 0 food and no diving equipment. Harrison's survival was the result of a specific, rare intersection of high-pressure physics and human biology, an anomaly that reveals the extreme edges of what a person can endure when specific environmental variables align. To see how those physical forces aligned, we look back to May 26, 2013. The heavy industrial tugboat Jaskin 4 was navigating volatile open ocean swells, attempting a high-tension maneuver to stabilize an oil tanker. Without warning, a massive, unpredictable freak wave slammed into the side of the bottom-heavy tugboat, instantly throwing its entire weight off balance. The vessel flipped entirely upside down and plummeted rapidly through the water column, hitting the ocean floor 98 feet below in a matter of seconds. In this cutaway diagram of the upside-down hull, we see the architectural physics at play. Because the sinking happened rapidly, rushing water couldn't displace all the oxygen, forcing an air pocket against what was originally the floor. Navigating the dark, freezing torrents, Harrison managed to escape the restroom and break the surface of the water inside the engineer's office. He found himself breathing inside a tiny 4-foot vertical pocket of trapped air. The 11 other crew members were locked in their cabins, following standard capsizing protocols, sealing their fate. The extreme speed and violence of the descent that doomed them created the exact physical trap that kept Harrison breathing. Inside that pitch-black pocket, the cold and starvation were secondary threats. His most lethal enemy was his own breath. In any small, tightly sealed environment, every exhalation releases carbon dioxide. Long before a trapped person depletes their oxygen supply, that carbon dioxide builds to toxic levels, causing them to pass out and suffocate. Here is where the extreme environment worked to his advantage. The crushing external weight of the ocean pressing in on the Jaskin 4 was the only mechanism keeping the air inside that bubble breathable. In this gas exchange visualization, you see how extreme pressure actively forces chemical reactions. The massive weight of the water at 98 feet compressed the air bubble, physically forcing the ocean water to absorb the toxic carbon dioxide molecules as Harrison exhaled. He waited in total darkness for 60 agonizing hours, standing waist-deep in freezing water, listening to the sounds of deep-sea scavengers entering the wreck. The immense oceanic pressure that usually crushes human lungs and makes the deep sea uninhabitable served as a makeshift life support system, constantly filtering the toxicity from his tiny air supply. Finding Harrison alive was a shock, but extracting him created an immediate, highly volatile medical crisis for the dive team. Breathing highly pressurized air for almost 3 solid days meant his body tissues had become completely saturated with compressed nitrogen. This medical visualization demonstrates what happens to dissolved nitrogen during rapid ascent. If divers simply brought him to the surface, the sudden drop in atmospheric pressure would cause that nitrogen to violently expand into massive gas bubbles in his bloodstream, killing him instantly. To safely extract him, the dive team transported a heavy, specialized commercial diving helmet down into the wreckage and meticulously fitted it onto Harrison's head, entirely within the confines of his small air pocket. Fully suited, they blindly guided him through the flooded, upside-down corridors, directly into a pressurized diving bell suspended in the dark water. A single pressure miscalculation during this transition would have meant immediate death, turning a physical rescue into a deeply complex medical operation. Once the diving bell reached the surface vessel, Harrison was transferred directly into a decompression chamber. He stayed locked inside for 2 full days, allowing the pressure in his body to slowly, safely match the atmosphere. Despite severe dehydration, hypothermia, and extreme biological stress, he emerged from the chamber with 0 permanent physical damage. This outcome provided medical researchers with a rare dataset on long-term saturation in a high-pressure, non-controlled environment, confirming that the ocean can act as a natural CO2 scrubber for a trapped survivor. Yet the psychological toll of spending 3 days trapped in a pitch-black underwater tomb, surrounded by the reality of his lost crew, is a terror few can comprehend. Rather than letting that trauma dictate his relationship with the sea, Harrison made a choice to directly confront the environment that almost claimed his life. He returned to the water, completed rigorous training, and became a fully certified commercial deep-sea diver, making a profession out of the very abyss that tried to bury him. His story stands as a testament to absolute human resilience. It leaves us wondering how long we could maintain our sanity in the freezing dark, and if we could ever find the courage to dive back into the water.
Like, share, and comment. Subscribe.